All right, thanks for tuning in. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I have this Element coil fork that I got off of a Mongoose Sledge X1. It's completely made of steel. The lowers, all of it is steel. So this is a very heavy fork that I don't really plan to use on anything. So it's just been sitting on the shelf over here. And I was thinking it'd be really cool to take this fork and see if I can make a rigid fork out of it. I've been working on a bike packing frame, and I thought it would be really cool if I could weld this up or do something to create a rigid fork for that bike. So yeah, I know I can buy one, but this will be fun. So hope you enjoy the video. All right, that's one. All right. There's that. And that one. All right, so after going through all my sockets, I was surprised to find that this is actually a ½ inch and not a metric. I went through my 10 millimeter, which is what I really figured it would be, and then I grabbed, went all the way up to 12, then hit 13, felt a little loose, and determined that this is a ½ inch. Okay, let's get this other side. Sorry about that. All right. Now that should do it. All right. There's the lowers and the uppers right there. So I plan to use this upper, but I've got the lowers off of these two that I could probably weld onto there pretty easily. Now this, both of these are about the same diameter. They're a little bit larger than the stanchions on that. I think these are 1 1/4 diameter, whereas the stanchions on that are about 1 1/8. So got to figure out what length I really want to go with on this. I'm kind of thinking about this one, really. All right, yeah, I've decided to roll with this one here. So these little caps here are just little rubber stoppers that go over the hole. And when I shine a light down inside here, it looks like maybe a 1/4-20. So I'm gonna have to get creative here. And I'm gonna have to, because this hole's so small and this is the only 1/4 inch extension that I have. I do have a piece of key stock here that is 3/16 by 1/4 that does fit inside here that I can use to reach down in there, and then I'm going to tape this on there and just be very gentle with it. The amount of twisting torque that'll be on this, I'm pretty sure it can handle. If I feel it starting to like round off or something like that, I'll definitely abort this idea. But this is definitely me just trying to get this done without going out and buying a tool. All right, so now I've got this on the end of a piece of key stock here. So I should be able to put this down inside there. Yep, hit bottom, all good. All right, so I got a 10 millimeter right here. Let's try this again. That is it. Okay, so I've got this pushed in there. If I had a wrench small enough to grab that, key stock. That would probably be the better way to do this, but I'll be daggoned. That actually worked. All right, so I'll go ahead and move on to this other one. I'm thinking maybe the nut is just in there somewhere, kind of seized on something maybe. All right, so I'm gonna try to do it more like this. There we go. Yeah, I think this is a better way to do this. So there's that one, came out. Got that one now. It is really kind of seized up. I might have to put this in the vise and hit it with a hammer and try to knock that out of there. All right, so I've got it right here in the vise. So I'm basically going to take this hammer, hit right here, and see if I can't. Little brake piece came off. It's definitely moving. All right, got that off. Now we got our lowers. There are some plastic bushings inside there that if I can get those out, I've got a different approach here. I did make some little cracks in this thing, chipped little pieces out of it, and I think I've got it kind of loose as far as the plastic inside here. So I'm going to use this, slide it down inside here, expand it, and see if I can't tap it out. And yes, this is very redneck. Some of it came out right then. Right after much digging, I finally got all the pieces out. Just kind of breaking them up and finally got it. This piece here was up underneath that red piece that was basically just formed or pressed into this. That should. There you go. There's the last one. So I got those empty. And that was a pain in the butt. All right, these are my two pieces. I'm going to set this one aside. I'll go ahead and cut this off so I can get this attached. Go and get this other one off. Well, there's our two lowers. That's what we're going for right there. Something like that. That is the wrong side. Just like that. This one will go right here like that. These dropouts are in the wrong spot. They're way too far in front of this to be able to get a brake mount attached. And you can kind of see with this one here, the dropout is more in line with the front here, whereas this one, it's way out in front of it. And that way I can maintain the distance between the axle and the two mounting points on the dropout there. So I'm going to cut these off, and I'm going to reuse these on this fork. So just stick it in here. I've got this cut all the way down on both sides. All right. All right, so I've got it in the vise here, and it is absolutely pouring rain outside. So apologize if you hear that. So I've got this set up. I've just got that wheel and the dropouts just kind of setting there, so you can kind of see. I'm going to go ahead and tack the dropouts into place, and then I'll pull the wheel out and weld it up. All right, so got it done. Got it welded around the stanchions onto the lowers. Got the dropouts welded back on. Using the wheel, as you saw, to get it straight, kind of looking down it. Everything is good. This is a very heavy fork. I mean, if you were to buy a rigid fork, I saw them online for around $100 or something like that. You could probably find one for cheaper, especially if you're going to like salvage one off of another bike or something like that. This really was just for the fun of it. It's kind of heavy for what it is. I weighed it. It's 4 pounds, but hey, I was wanting to see if it could be done, and it could be done. Now, if I had it to do over again, in hindsight, I probably would have kept these and cut them down to whatever, way down here, gutted it, and then slid these to whatever length I wanted. In fact, I was kind of thinking, in hindsight, I probably would have made some really good use out of an adjustable rigid fork. Basically like putting a piece of all thread or something like that to where I could adjust these up and down, and just more for like testing geometry type stuff, axle to crown length. But oh well, what you going to do? Yeah, I'll probably at some point weld some weld nuts onto this, so that, or maybe a plate or something like that with something that kind of wraps around for mounting like luggage or different things too, once I get the bike packing frame up and going. But that's it. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like this type of content, please subscribe. Give me a like. Thank you for watching.